Yo, what's going on, people? 101. Bless you, Bertram. 101, Arsenal lose 1-0 to Manchester City. And welcome to everybody who's joining us for the player ratings. Let's say hello to our panel. How are you getting on, Neomis? How are you doing, bro?
I am doing okay. The week, the week hasn't been great. The weekend hasn't been great either. But yeah, what can you do? On to the next one is what I like to say. So it's been an uneventful weekend.
Bertram, I'm not going to ask you how you're doing because you've actually been sitting in the stream with me watching watching the Redskins and Giants, watching the Villa game, watching the Spurs, that amazing Spurs West Ham game. So, we've been in the chat room for about 3 hours now, and Bertram has been heading us up with all the news. How are you getting on, Bertram?
Well, I'm watching the Villa game against Leicester, and Partey just scored a wonder goal from about 30 yards out. They're up 1-0. Aston Villa leading nothing against Leicester with 2 minutes to go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, good goal. Aston Villa playing well, actually. And Grealish not playing for England is a crime because Grealish doesn't feel pressure. I'm watching him play, just doesn't feel pressure. 4 men around him is just okay. I'll just do what I do.
But remember when in week 1 I said when you have the best goalkeeper in the Premiership, that is worth 10 to 12 points. I think Martinez is worth a lot more than 10 to 12 points in that team. And they don't even look like letting in a goal. I mean, yes, they let 2 goals in against Liverpool. What they have 4 clean sheets now.
Yeah, they haven't given them a goal, and so if they don't, if Leicester doesn't score the next 2 minutes, it'll be another clean sheet. So. But it's been an interesting week. I mean, we did lose. I'm sometimes more concerned about the manner of the loss versus just the loss itself. And I'm concerned about our team because year after year we play the defense. We have the highest price front 3 in the Premier League, and our front 3 are playing like our old defense used to play. We only lost 1-0 yesterday. We didn't score. We lost 3-1 at Liverpool. We beat West Ham 2-1.
Yeah.
We barely beat Sheffield 2-1. So we're not scoring a lot of goals. I see Spurs scored 3 today in the first 20 minutes. But
they're scoring 3 goals.
Their defense is like our old defense because they gave up 3 goals in the last 10 minutes. So we have to do a better job. Partey will help, but Partey is not. Our midfield to me needs to be better, but our front 3 are almost inept, frankly.
So Ebony, we won't talk about that because Bertram said Partey would be a game changer, top 4. We ain't seen him play yet, so we can't really make up our minds until we unleash him against Leicester. Leicester, at the moment, Ebony, Leicester don't look too great, but they're not a pushover. No team is. Vardy is injured, by the way. He's got a calf injury, so he didn't play today. I don't think he's going to play next week. I'm not sure. But how's your weekend going, Ebony?
Weekend's gone really well. I've just come back from annual leave, so it's my first night in a while. I hate nights. Everyone who knows me, knows I hate nights. Yesterday, what can you say? I mean, at the end of the day, we've not beaten Man City at their ground for a while, and it's just getting ridiculous. I mean, every time we come up to the top 6, we just seem to freeze. And yesterday's game, not even one piece of press, and why wasn't Lacazette there? Why wasn't Lacazette brought on? How can you play Willian as a false striker? He's not a striker. He's a midfielder. He doesn't. I mean, people call him a Chelsea reject. Call him what you want, but he's not. And that's down to Arteta. He's not a striker. So, and I'm sick and tired of seeing Aubameyang playing from the wing. I don't want him at the wing. I want him at the front. He's a striker. So therefore, for me, he needs to play at the front. And he keeps doing that. And, all this thing about late substitutions. I mean, for crying out loud. I mean, is he Wenger in disguise? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Arteta, but he needs to bring on substitutions early, and he needs to know who his best 11 are.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I also have to, in myself, have to think that my issue was, and I'm talking about positives here. Let's talk about some positives. My issue was Arteta showed me that the team was capable of taking games to the big teams, getting in their faces, forcing them into mistakes, applying more pressure. You know, we know what Klopp has done with Liverpool in the way that they press. We know what Pep has done with City. Arteta showed them that he can beat them at their own game. We didn't even see anything of that response yesterday. Your team yesterday did not look like the same team that was playing superbly, exceptionally on the back end of last season. And it started from that Leicester game. We went up to Leicester, we had the red card, should have won the game, ended up drawing, and we went on a roll. We beat Wolves, which I never thought we'd do. We went and beat Liverpool, which I never thought we'd do. And then we switched that league form to the FA Cup final. We went all the way and just blew out teams and won the FA Cup. But it all started from just before that Leicester game. And we were looking good, and our defense was tying up teams. David Luiz was a big part of that. Everything looked like it was locked down. And moving into this season, I'm expecting to see that Arsenal, and I just haven't seen them. There's been spurts, but we haven't looked like the team that just dominated teams, took the fight to teams, played with the urgency where we wanted to dominate teams, just get in their faces and disrupt the flow of their movement, disrupt the balance. We're not doing that. And quite frankly, I can't answer any questions to you guys why we're not doing that. That is, Bertram touched on it yesterday when he was saying, you know, us stretching that far is not our identity. This is the real Arsenal. This is what we look like. Maybe Bertram's correct to a point, but my point still stands that we have displayed that we can dominate teams, big teams, and we haven't seen that so far this season, if I'm honest. Let's see what our guys are saying. Kurt, what's going on, Kurt? Big shout out to you. Nice to see you in the chat room. Osman saying AFC fans have declared the state of emergency already. They're calling for Arteta. Yeah, I think that is stupid. The guy ain't even been a season yet, and people are calling for his head. You're not going to get that on this channel, bro. We're going to stay positive. We're going to remain objective. And we are going to call it out where it deserves to be called out, but we are going to praise where we need to praise. Kuke Martinez, yeah, look, that boat has sailed.
Don't even start me off.
That boy, you're pinching a nerve already, and we ain't even started yet.
Kuke is doing that intentionally.
Spurs, David says Spurs say they will win the league.
That's the biggest laugh I've had all day.
I don't even know who's going to win the league because City don't have a defense, even though we didn't really show that yesterday. Liverpool have lost Van Dijk, not just for the season, but probably 10 months into next season. Carletto, you're correct. Bertram has alluded to the fact that we haven't even played any real football since the Fulham game. We ain't turned up yet. And maybe that's a positive. Maybe the positive is when things start clicking for us in the midfield and up front creatively, then maybe things would improve. Yeah. Yes, Arteta's made us more organized, more tight, but where was the tactics yesterday? The team sheet was poor, the tactics were poor, and overall, Arteta has to take that one on the chin. Scricket Ball, good to see you all. Blessings to you, my brother. Hope you're watching the T20 at the moment. Big things are going over there. D saying positives. We're much harder to beat and are no longer giving away 25 shots a game. Agreed. I think it was either Vinci or Laaf Kanguna I was talking to today that was saying that improvements defensively is a long way into stamping authority in the team. So that definitely has to go for one. Nitish, nice to see you, bro. Martinez, yeah, listen, Martinez is just getting it.
Start me off.
He's getting it done at Villa. He's getting it done. You know what? Let me actually, where is Villa in the league right now, guys? Let me just have a quick look and see
They're
where
somewhere at the
Aston
top
Villa
for
is.
Liverpool.
They're second.
Oh,
They're second.
They've
They're
only
second.
played 4 games. No, 3 games, I think.
right.
They,
So,
they're
so
only played
Martinez was in an interview last week, and they said, "Would you have stayed at Arsenal?" And he said, "No." That's the reason why. Yeah. So Joseph, big shout out to you, Joseph. Joseph saying, "Big up everyone. I didn't like Ceballos yesterday. Neither did I, my brother." As well as Xhaka. I thought Xhaka did really well, but we'll come on to that when we talk about it. Kurt saying, "Apollo, as a stat man, is the longest Uber's gone without scoring a goal." Bro, I've been saying it every week. The man just shut down after he signed the thing. So I don't know what's going on there, man. And Andrew, good to see you, Andrew. Andrew, you was with us there in the live chat yesterday as well. Good to see you. He said, "Hey there, you're really going to tackle the carcasses yesterday's performance?" Yes, we are. Ted, you're a first time. I've not seen you here before, so welcome to the stream. Subscribe to the channel and hit that like button, and let me know what your views are, Ted. Villa are undefeated for real. This shit is hurting me hard, man. Kez, nice to see you, Kez. Villa still have a game in hand. Agreed. And Nana, good to see you, Nana, back as well. Martinez is killing it. It's because at Villa. I always said when I see him in a Villa shirt, yeah. And it's funny, being the best goalkeeper in the league. Remember, it's just my opinion. Some people say it's Liverpool's goalkeeper, Alisson. Some people say Edison. Edison was fantastic yesterday. That save he made from Saka was just sublime. But anyway, before we go into the player ratings, let's get an overall feeling from the panel of what they thought about the game yesterday. Neomis, you got the conch.
Well, as I was watching the game, I tried to come up with all these different reasons on why I thought the game didn't do well. I thought about Arteta just not starting the team up, and now that I've had time to think about it, I just looking like how we've performed against City in the past, not just the tail end of last season, but prior to that, I just don't think that we are just completely up to scratch. I don't think that we're good enough. I don't know why we started slowly, like you. I don't know where the intensity has gone. For me, that is the part that really baffles me. The lack of pressing. From like what's up with the front three? Because for me, I feel even if the front three showed anywhere near the quality that they've shown before, maybe we would have gotten a draw out of the game. Like I get it, we didn't do nowhere near enough to win the game, but it's starting to concern me. But I'll be patient and see how it goes on. So for now, I'll put it as, you know what, Arsenal weren't good enough. It is Man City, so I always remember that it is Man City. So you can say that, Man City being the side that they are, that they caused us to play the way that they did, because against Liverpool earlier on in the season, second game, I also felt that was another game whereby we didn't really put ourselves forward. So I mean, we've got Leicester next. We just have to hope that is the type of game that we can be a little bit more confident. I can understand City and Liverpool, but let's see how it goes on over the next 5 games at the very least.
I think that's a great point you've said there, and I'll agree with you in terms of City and Liverpool are not the games we were scheduled to win. They're not our competition. Yeah. If we think we're going to finish 4th or 3rd, those are the 2 teams that we're not going to be finishing above. So, it's like in Formula 1 racing. If you're in front of Lewis Hamilton, he ain't your race. He's going to pass you. So let him go. Don't fight with him and hold him up and do all this foolishness to make the cars collide. Let him go and fight your own battle. So I agree with you on that. Yesterday, like you, I was just very disappointed because what the formula we saw to success to make me believe that we were going to be challenging for a top 4 wasn't there. Wasn't there with the tactics, but the personnel concerned me. El Nene, who's been getting it done for you in the midfield for the last 3 or 4 games, not on there. Maitland-Niles, who's been getting it done for you against the big teams. You chose him every game. You put him he was in the first 11. He was your guy, and you benched him. Eddie Nketiah, who plays the point, and rushes and does the harassing and the hassle that and creates the tempo that you need up front, who played in those games, he weren't there. So there's a dynamic that explains some of the reasons why we weren't at the races yesterday, and that has to fall on the manager. Bertram.
So I'll make the first one. I'll make is that I don't agree that City and Liverpool are not a competition. So here's the rationale, and I'll go to the, yesterday, the calamity that we had, the calamity we did. So as I said to you, the discussion we had, we're not good enough, and we should be good enough. So we have the highest price front three in the Premier League. We just got Partey 35 million. Xhaka was 37 million. Ceballos came from Real Madrid. Gabriel is a stallion. He's almost 27 million. David Luiz is a World Cup winner. Tierney is viewed to be a future star. Bellerin was supposed to be an all-star player. So there are players there with supposed pedigree, which should allow us to compete with Man City. But what you saw yesterday was, which has been my concern for the last over a year, is that our front three will receive all these accolades when they were signed and are viewed as differentiators and are viewed as the strength of our team, actually are the weakness. The best player of that front five, I'll call it, is Saka. And he was playing midfield yesterday. He was going forward a lot. Saka is our best player, better than Aubameyang, better than Lacazette, better than Nketiah, better than Pepe, better than William, which is shocking for an 18, 19-year-old who just coming through to the academy, be better than all those supposed players with reputation. Take Nketiah out of the mix. And that is very, very concerning, actually. And so when you look at yesterday's game...
I'm going to let you carry on, but I want to throw something in there that I want you to talk about as well, because you're bringing in the intangibles. And intangibles is something that we have to discuss because they're the reasons why we see the results. So what you've mentioned is correct, but I want you to talk a little bit about actually what Nitesh has just talked about. This isn't the best Liverpool and Man City teams that we've faced. Other teams have been playing them off the park. And this was a Man City team with no Kevin De Bruyne, Sterling and Aguero, both not 100% because they're coming back. So just add that a little bit into the mix, and so we can understand why this team was beatable and why Leeds played them off the park last week. More shots, more possession. This isn't the Man City team that we've known and been accustomed to over the years.
So before I go to the opposition, I first have to talk about us and our strengths and weaknesses, right? And then I get to the opposition and where they are as it relates to the season and why we should have done better. So we sometimes have this mirage of our faces from last year, end of last year, that transitioned over to this season, and believe that was the real Arsenal. I think Arsenal is someplace in the middle. So it'd be the Liverpool team that already had won the league. It'd be the City team. To me, we're in the races. Liverpool destroyed us, by the way. They just gave away 2 really bad goals when we played them. We haven't played Liverpool well in 5-6 years from Coutinho days. We haven't really played Liverpool well at all. But I want to stick on us, actually. So a lot of our players have major deficiencies who are star players. We played Aubameyang 350. He's only a goal scorer. He can't pass the ball. He can't beat a man. His movement is good, and he scores goals, but all he does. He's not a good hold-up player. He doesn't beat a man, and he can't pass. That's really bad for your major striker. And I hear a lot of people talking about how he's better than Mane, he's better than Kane. He's not in their class. He's not better than Mane. He's more of a Vardy-type comparison. Or the Southampton player in Ince. He's not in the Kane, the Mane, the Salah class. He's just not. He doesn't do enough as a player to be viewed as that. Lacazette, we bought for 50+ million. Lacazette, good hold-up player, decent passer, can't run to save his life, can't beat a man to save his life. And also lack confidence. Pepe, the jury's still out. I don't know what Pepe is yet. We say give him a chance, let him develop, let him get acclimated to the league. I see Fernandes from come in from Man U and do really, really well. I see Bill coming back. I'm sure he'll do well. I see a lot of players come in who are new to the league, top players, got bought for a lot of money, and they hit the ground running. Now, some players don't. We agree. But I expected much more from Pepe, given the reputation he brought to us from League One. Then we have William, who I supported the acquisition of. It was free, and I like free stuff with some reputation. He played good in the Fulham game. He's been atrocious. So the one player of all those four, and then Ketia, I think is still raw. He has a little ability, he has stamina, but he's still, and by the way, like I said, has no stamina. So you can see the front four that we have each have major deficiencies, which then lend themselves to us one going best for four. We're not better than Man U front four. We're not better than Tottenham front four. We're not better than Man City front four. We're not better than Liverpool front four. There's a lot of front four. We're comparing to Villa, Grealish and Watkins and Trezeguet. That's what our comparison is down, not those top teams. So think about that front four, and then think about our midfield, where Partey is the only really great player in our midfield, and hopefully he acclimates to the league well. The rest of the players are good players. Ceballos is a good player. But yesterday demonstrated to you that it's a bias we all rave about. When he plays against top competition, he's not playing the same way. He doesn't get the ball and move it upfield. He doesn't shake off players. He's not making those passes to get us out of trouble. Thiago comes in and Thiago does it every game. That's world class. So look at our defense right now is the strength of our team, apart from maybe a Bellerin and also Tierney, who got roasted yesterday. But our center halves, Holding, David Luiz, Gabriel, they're playing okay. We're not leaking goals. And so that's the concern, which is if we're not leaking goals and we're not scoring goals, then where are we?
Yeah, and remember, it's not so much we're not leaking goals, but we're not leaking shots. We were giving up an average of 26 shots per game, and that's gone. So
the problem yesterday, here's the problem yesterday. So El Nene's played well since the season started, wasn't on the field. When we played the top teams, we played Maitland Miles last year. Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea. He shuts down one side of the field. As you always use the analogy with cornerbacks in the NFL. He shuts down your top receiver. He shuts down Salah. He shuts down Traore, play Wolves in the second half. He shuts down whether it's Marty comes on his side, he's going to shut it down. He shut down Mahrez. He shut down the top players on the wing for those teams. He shut down, if Big and Sterling is the same thing. Maitland Miles doesn't get beat. Yesterday, Tierney got roasted. Now, Saka wasn't helping as much as he should, but he got roasted by multiple players. Even the right back, Cancelo, was roasting him. That doesn't help your team. And frankly, City keeps the ball much better than we do. We've talked about this for a while. We do not keep the ball well, which is concerning. Now, hopefully Partey will have to change some of that, but we don't keep the ball well. And the last one I'll make about this is that we keep talking about our front three, and they're not getting service. And I keep asking people, we don't have any creativity in our midfield. So my question to people is, why does Saka look so creative yesterday? Beating people, going inside, get shot on goal. When does Abba does that? When is Pepe doing that? When is William doing that? When is Laka doing that? Who's the creative midfielders for Liverpool? Mane, Firmino, and Salah interchange continuously, playing between each other, breaking the defense down, scoring. Where is our front three doing that interchanging, breaking defense down? So we keep emphasizing this creativity. We don't all war because that's not the issue. Our front three doesn't have any creativity. Pepe does, but he's always losing the ball for some reason. So my concern is, and yesterday Arteta didn't help himself. Why are you bringing Partey on in the 80-something minute? You know what? You want to rest him?
Why did he do that?
To appease the fans. That's to appease the fans.
You're not pleasing the fans. You're making the fans upset because the fans are saying
you're getting the fans upset. Yeah, you're getting the fans upset. That I don't know what happened to Arteta yesterday, but that's not the guy that I am used to seeing running the show. Let's just see what some of the guys are saying. D is saying, facts, Bertram. Apollo, you said that Arsenal spent 102 million on the front three. Absolutely shocking. Yes, it is. And that is his problem to fix. He's got to figure out, the defense is fine. He's got to figure out who's your best combination in the midfield out of El Nene, Partey, Xhaka, and Ceballos. And then, and for me, that's even more of a problem than what we think it is, because I think that you go with he tried to go with Fortnite yesterday. It didn't happen because of the injury. But you're choosing two of those guys, and I think you play Saka in front of them. That's what I think. This isn't the first time we've seen Saka. In the back end of last year, Saka played in that midfield three, and he was very good. And he hasn't started in the first 4 games. People have been asking for him to start, and when he's come on, he's been dynamite. I think you play him at the pivot point in that diamond front three right at the top, and then let him play his game, and then you worry about the front three afterwards. That's not an issue. You just have to find your 2 combos as holding midfielders. Andrew's got a question. Aubameyang would enhance most clubs in the Premier League. can just get a better setup behind him for negative flaws just being articulated. Look,
so I think you have to hide Aubameyang. It's gonna sound strange saying that way. You play Aubameyang up top. You pressure the defense to play deep, or he's gonna go by them. You play Saka on the left. I don't necessarily agree that Saka should play the 10. I think you should play Aubameyang the 9.
Wait, not so much a 10, more of an 8. It needs to play more of an 8.
What I'm saying, what I would do is play Ceballos as the 10, play El Nene beside Partey, Saka left, Aubameyang middle, and Pepe or William right. More likely Pepe than William, because William is not playing well. I'm not sure what's happening. But that would be my team. I play a 4-3-3. And you know what? In today's day, with our defense that we have now, we can afford to play 4 defenders.
Would you take out Bellerin and put in Maitland-Niles?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Bellerin has not played well. He's not well defended. I'm not sure. Since his injury, it's not the same Bellerin. I don't want to excuse me of injury. He's now back 2 years. But he has not. Defensively, yesterday he was getting roasted by Foden. And also, sometimes the commentators show this all the time, which is you show the player out to the sidelines as part of your defense to help you. You don't show him inside. So many defenders show the player inside, and then they have a chance to pass the ball to another player or take a shot and goal. I saw today with Son playing against West Ham. The defender showed him inside, and it was like, giving him candy. You can't do that. You got to force the player to go outside so that the keeper has the angle, the sideline is helping you, and you also have a chance to prevent him from getting the back ball in field. And
let's go to Ebony. So, Ebony, we'll do the player ratings straight after this. We'll go straight into it. Ebony, were you happy with Aubameyang at the point? Everybody's been asking for him to play at the 9 spot and not be out wide, where creatively he is a liability. He has one job to do in the middle, and that's just to score goals. He had one opportunity yesterday. I'm not going to include the ball from David Luiz, which was the best ball I saw in the whole of the game yesterday, curling it through 3 defenders, putting it right on that point. All Aubameyang's got to do is run to that spot, and it's almost like he just doesn't have to get up and go, and he gets there too late. And you got to put that down as a chance. What a delivery from David Luiz. You've got Lacazette, Nketiah, and Aubameyang. And I think if you put Aubameyang in there, then you can help to develop more creativity around him on the front 3. Even if that means that Saka has to play in Aubameyang's old position as a left attacking striker. I don't care how they do it. I prefer Pepe there because Pepe, that's his natural affinity. But whether you put Saka there and then find a combination on the right, who would you like to see in the middle?
I would like to see. I've been saying this for quite a while now. Aubameyang needs to play at the top in the middle. He is crap on the wing. All he can do, I mean, he's a goal scorer. That is it. He's not the great, as Bertram always alludes to. He's not the greatest passer. He's not the greatest deliverer. So therefore, same thing. So therefore, play him as a poacher, if you like. That's how I want to see him. And then if you want to put Lacazette and maybe Pepe on the left and the right, then so be it, because those 2 players are better there than Aubameyang. I've been saying this for a while. So, and every time I see Aubameyang play on the wing, it really annoys me because he's not good on the wing. And I don't know why Arteta keeps persisting with that. So, at the end of the day, you want the guy to score goals. You want to see him score goals, fine. I mean, he's not the only player that we want to see score goals. We want to see goals from all over the pitch. But if we're singling out Aubameyang, that's where he needs to play. That is where he's most effective. The other 2 players can feed him because he is he's one of these players that has to be fed. He can't feed anybody. It's as simple as that.
Nana's saying, Apollo, can we can 4-3-3? Yes, we can. We tried to go with a combination of that yesterday due to the injury. We didn't do that. And remember, the Carabao Cup against Liverpool, we went in with 4 at the back. So it definitely is something that we are definitely integrating into right now as we speak. So look forward to that happening again against Leicester City next weekend. 4 at the back now is on the menu, and it's as simple as that. It's the only way how Arteta's really going to feel happy about what he's doing with the team. And we've got the options in the midfield to do that and to make that happen. We just need to understand what his combination of players are will be in order to enact that perfection. And right now, yesterday's combination was not good.
I don't think he knows I don't think he knows his best 11 right now. I mean, I love the guy. I like the fact that he's actually trained the players to not give away too many shots. That's fine. That's fantastic. But the game that I saw yesterday, it was actually quite shocking because a lot of our play was on the left hand side and nothing on the right hand side. And it's like, well, why?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, it's every manager's puzzle to sort out who's your best combination of players. And look, Emery, after all the time he had, a year, a season and a half, never really knew what his first 11 was, if I'm honest, in terms of the way what he did with Ceballos, what he did with Pepe or didn't do, what he did with Maitland-Niles. Look, we can go on and on and on in terms about his combinations and how they didn't work. Torreira was probably the person who was worse off. He went from a defensive midfielder to a number 8, and seriously, it just blew up in his face. But that's the combination. That's the winning combination here. Fix that, and you'll be able to fix the team. And what we saw yesterday didn't work. Guys, we're going to get straight into it now. Guys in the chat, let me know what your thoughts are with Leno, Luiz, Gabriel, and Tierney. Give us your marks out of 10 for those guys. Neomis, you got the conch. You go first.
Okay, so apart from Tierney, I thought Luiz, Gabriel, and Leno, all three of them, I gave 6.5s. I thought all three were really good throughout the game compared to everyone else. I thought without Leno, the Man City would have probably scored a lot more goals. David Luiz, again, decent passing, tried to create stuff from deep. Also, I think he was pretty reasonable defensively. Gabriel, again, another consistent performance where defensively I thought he was solid. Like after the game, I checked some of the stats, and again, he was leading the team away in terms of clearances and interceptions and blocks. So again, for me, he also performed very well. So all three of them, I gave 6.5s. Tierney, unfortunately, I had to give a 4. I thought he was bad. And not that he did a lot of things majorly wrong, but Mahrez made him look like a 4. Mahrez had his number all day long. He just could not deal with Mahrez. And I mean, the poor guy, I felt sorry for him. Overall, there's just nothing that he could have done. And I think it was just the worst game that I've seen him play. Very frustrating. So for me, I had to give him a 4.
Excellent. So, guys, let's hear what the guys are saying now. Wow, it's numbers are everywhere. Joseph, your first up. Leno 4, Luiz, and a lot of people felt Leno palmed that shot into the danger zone, and that's why we're probably going to be seeing a lot of no numbers for Leno. But we have to measure that up as well because he came off his line a few times really impressively.
Yeah.
And but his distribution sucked. So what do you do? Luiz 7, definitely good. Gabriel, yeah, our centre backs were solid yesterday, no doubt about that. Tierney a 5. It looks like Mr. Bungle. All right, I was going to say 5 for all of them, but he goes all 3 of them. Yeah, that's fine. So that's a fair shout. So all 3 of the centre backs, including Tierney, get a 5. A bit harsh on the centre backs there, Mr. Bungle. 18 has gone for. Where are we? Leno 4. Again, Leno's eating up them 4s. Luiz 7. Gabriel 7. This time Tierney gets a 3. So a lot of people giving the centre backs a 7. Tierney's just getting hung out to dry here. Kuke has gone for Leno 4. So another 4 for Leno. And 2 more 7s for the centre backs. And Tierney 3 again. So that kind of matches what 18 said. Cricket Ball has gone 6. So he's gone favourable to Leno. 7 for Luiz again. Gabriel gets an 8 though, and Tierney gets a 6. Tierney needs to get back to that pinpoint accuracy with his passes. He did. He does need to get back to that. He wasn't there yesterday, which is why I'm surprised you're giving him a 6. Actually, too many times through pass, he was getting ripped on the overlap. He was just getting ripped by Mahrez. He just got ripped. Sentiment's gone 5 for Leno, 4 for Luiz. and 5 for Gabriel, 3 for Tierney. I hear that, my brother. Troy has just given 4, so I'm guessing that's 4 across the board for everybody. Nana has gone Leno a 3, Louise 7, Gabriel an 8, and Tierney a 3. CJ's gone 5 for Leno, 6 Louise, 7 for Gabriel. Tierney's eating up them threes, man. He's proper eating up them threes. Sento has gone for 10 for David Luiz towards. He was playing he was playing on the right wing, left wing. The diagonal balls. He was the best person in terms of passing yesterday on the field as an Arsenal player, in my opinion. Aaron, big shout out to you, Aaron. Thank you very much for the £5. Aaron says we made City look mediocre. That's why we were hurting and not taking our chances. Yeah, and at the end of the first half, we were pulverizing them. Could have been 2 or 3 goals there. And if you look at the penalty at the end, what do you say on that one? William being up front, we have come a long way in the front. So yeah, we have. It's just sad to see that not translate into a result yesterday. Bertram.
So it's always interesting seeing the ratings and not having the rationale for the ratings from people, because I would love to get people to elaborate more as to why they give players certain ratings. So if we had scored 4 goals yesterday, I wonder what the ratings would have been for the front 3 or the front 4. I don't think anybody would get a 3 or a 4, frankly. It's amazing we gave up 1 goal. Our goalkeeper wasn't barrage of shots, and yet we're saying the defense should get a 3 or 4. Yes, there's one. If you think about the defense, the 2 people in the middle of the field played really well yesterday. And Aguero wasn't dominating the game. Sterling wasn't dominating when they come into the middle. The threats were coming from the left and the right with Foden and with Mahrez. I thought I gave Leno a 6.5. I thought he could have done better with that shot. You forgot that he had a one-on-one with Foden when Foden was cleared through and he saved it. He came for crosses, and we all complain he doesn't come for crosses like Martinez. He came for crosses.
He did well a couple of times.
He was good yesterday, so I'm not sure how he gets a 4 from anyone. I thought David Luiz and Gabriel played well on a better Luiz's better game. His passing was much better. A couple of games it has been a little bit wayward. So he passed really well. So I gave Luiz a 6.5, and I gave Gabriel a 7. I think he's a little bit stronger in his tackles. And I gave Tierney a 3, and I was being generous. Tierney gets roasted by good players. He's gotten roasted by Salah. He gets roasted by Mahrez. He got roasted to Troy until Maitland-Niles bailed him out. He gets roasted quite a bit. I'm not sure people realize that. We all enamored with his ability to go forward, his pass over the top to Aubameyang, his energy, his dynamic. But you look at his defensive capabilities when he plays against the better players, even Sarr previous year before. Even when he played against Antonio and pulled his shoulder out. You look at him against the better players, the skillful players, he doesn't fare too well. I know some people are saying, well, he played in the back 3, he's not his normal position. You're playing one-on-one. Cancelo yesterday turned him around twice. And I'm sitting there thinking it's a right back treating you as if you were a, pee-wee player. That's not how you defend.
But I think you're going to see more of that, because when he was a wing back, it doesn't show those deficiencies up. If you're stapling him at a left back now, then you're going to start to see him struggling a little bit more often.
Well, maybe we should play Gabriel out there. I don't know how you do. Play Gabriel Holding and Luiz as your back 3. Let him play on the left and put Saka on the left wing. But he doesn't fare well against him. At least Gabriel would bully those players. They may beat him, but they feel his presence. Tierney is never there when he plays against better players. Just isn't. Go and check the stats against any of the top players, and he struggles quite a bit. So he didn't have a good game yesterday. Well, I thought we gave up 1 goal, guys. I mean, that's the point I want to make, which is if you analogize this with the front 3, if they score 4 goals, they all get 7 and 8. Because our defense is getting 3 and 4 when we gave up 1 goal. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I think, and when somebody mentioned about, I think it's Cool K, so Bertram Leno could have done much better with his parry towards Sterling goal. That's why people are ripping him. But at the same time,
you can't give me a 4 for 1 mistake. I mean, so what? You know what? So if I miss a goal, do I then get a 3 or a 4 rating because I missed 1 goal? But I may have played well. I saved a goal point blank range with Foden. So let's equalize out. So we equalize Foden save, which is 1-on-1. Like Edison did twice, And we said, no, he should have parried the goal. He saved the goal. It's just, somebody should be marking Sterling. Let's be a defender should have been there to prevent that from happening.
It's a little contradictory because you've said we only let in one goal, and that was the deciding factor in the whole game. So it would have been a draw.
Apollo, no, we didn't score a goal, Apollo. I'm sorry.
I know.
Score a goal.
Yeah. We were. Listen, I keep talking about the Edison save. It came off his shoulder. He had no idea what was going on. He didn't get a hand to it. It was almost luck, and even when it deflected off the shoulder, it missed the post by about in a matter of inches.
Agreed.
It was so close. But outside of that, Aubameyang, point blank range, straight into the keeper's chest. Should have done better. I don't really think there was any other clear-cut chances than those two. And then obviously the penalty, which, well, whatever. It's whatever. We didn't really need it. Had those two goals have gone in, we didn't need the penalty, by any means. So, yeah, tough one to call. But, yeah, I think it's harsh. I mean, yeah, I only gave Leno a 5. I mean, I might as well give you my scores. I gave Leno, I gave him a 5. Decent performance. Some of the stuff that I liked what he did came for the crosses. I thought that was different. That was new. We normally see him try to woof on those punches. Came off his line twice for 2 saves, which I thought was very impressive. We've been seeing him doing that in the last few weeks as well. And but relatively poor in his distribution yesterday. And as everybody's alluded to already, he's parried the ball on the save right into the danger zone, which you're trained not to do. But I gave him a 5 nonetheless. David Luiz, Vincey gave him, I forgot, I've got to do Vincey and I've got to do the African Gooners marked as well. Vincey gave Bert Leno a 7 and the African Gooner gave him a 6. David Luiz, I gave a 7. Vincey gave a 6.9. The African Gooner gave a 6. Good performance, great positioning defensively. As I said, he was our best player passing the ball. And, he had that tendency to just pick up the ball from anywhere on the field, look 40, 50 yards and bang. And he was causing City a lot of problems there because we wasn't really dominating in the midfield. This is the David Luiz we like to see passing. Some games he's just been really off with his passing, and some games he's been really on. But this was when we lost to Man City 3-0 on the back of last year and he wasn't fit. Remember, he was only 70% fit. This is the performance you're looking for from a David Luiz against the big top team. And I thought he played really well. Gabriel, I've given a 7. Vincey gave a 6.5 and Laafin Kaguna a 6.5. Another solid performance. So when has this guy ever had a bad game, but yet you didn't play him against Liverpool? He's so assured on the ball, so much confidence defensively. He's a rock in 101 duels. We've seen that every week. I mean, they say he wins 54% of them. And that was in the French league. In the Premiership, he's winning a hell of a lot more than that, guys. People can't get around this guy. People can't go through him. They can't dribble through this guy. He's just a rock. He's just a bookend. For me, probably the best buy in the whole transfer market over the summer in terms of valuation as well. Kieran Tierney, I gave a 4. Vincey gave him a 5.5. La African Guna gave him a 5. I read this. I read my notes. I was typing my notes to Bertram as we was watching the Giant Skins game, and Bertram was laughing his head off when I typed in what I typed in. Struggled, got twisted, turned, and burned was my description of Kieran Tierney. For me, guys, though, he looked short of fitness following his period of quarantine. Clearly wasn't the same player, but that doesn't discount the fact that he's also been ripped against speedy wingers and wing-back players. And that's my 3 in the midfield. Ebony, what's your marks with our back 4?
Okay, Leno, I give a 6. There's still errors in his game that he needs to correct. Yes, he made some great saves. Yes, he came off his line. But there are still aspects to his game for me that he still needs to come correct on. But in saying that, he didn't have too bad a game. And I think, since his return, this is probably his second game in which he's actually played good. Luiz, he's one of these players whereby if he's there, he's good for like leadership quality, and he gets in that position. He gets into a position where he's needed and he can actually help out the rest of the defense. It was a great pass that he played to Aubameyang. I mean, he's quite good at those long passes from deep. I'd give him a 7. Gabriel, again, 7. You know, rock hard defender. The kind of defender that we've been missing for a good while. Nothing gets past him. So I'd give him a 7. Tierney, he wasn't at the races. I don't know whether it's because of the quarantine or he's tired or whatever. But as you said, Apollo, you know, he does get ripped apart by players who are too fast for him. And maybe that's something that he needs to work on in his game. So for that performance, I give him a 4.
Right. Someone's just sent me. Thank you. Cool K's just sent me £20 on PayPal, so appreciate that, guy. Appreciate that, mate. I've just seen it pop up on my feed. Appreciate that. So where are we? Let's see what our guys are saying here in the chat. D is saying Leno 5, bad parrying led to the goal, but can't be mad at him. Yeah, I gave him a 5 for the same reason. If we were a creative team, and we'd have scored 2 or 3, maybe even win the game. Agreed. Ted has gone for Leno 3, Luis 7, Gabriel 8, Tenny 5. D. Oh, I thought D already sent the figures. No, he didn't. Louise. Okay, so he's given Louise a 7, Gabriel a 7, and Tierney a 4. We'll come on to Bellerin afterwards. Where any other marks here? Any other? Let's have a look. See if I can find you guys. Mr. Bungle in the house. Again, 40 people watching. Hit that like button, everybody. Hit that like button. It doesn't cost you a penny. We've got Tony. We've got our guy Tony in the house. Kez hasn't put any figures up at the moment. Kez, have you sent your figures? Tony can't join us today because he's had a very long day. So bless him, and I hope he gets some nice rest and enjoys the stream. Tony's gone Leno 8. Rotted, I need to drink. Okay, Tony.
I need to drink some alcohol as well. Wow.
Tony, you make me nearly choke up new drink for Rotted. Tony's
I love that cooked food, but boy.
Hey, look at Bertram smile. Look, Bertram drinking as well. Bertram drinking as well. Tony, Leno 8, Louise 6, Gabriel 8.5, and he's given Tierney a 7.
Tony didn't watch the game.
Mad ting. I'm just trying to see if I've missed any of the grades. No, I haven't. I haven't missed any of the grades. Sentiment saying Apollo for Bertram, low scores because we didn't win. All round poor performance. Tierney and Saka were out of position. Saka, I thought, was fantastic, mate. But I hear what you're saying. Remember, guys, there is no wrong in any of your scores or grades. Everything is subjective. We say that every single week. So before we start to jump on anybody's back for any scores, that is their opinion, not your opinion. There's a difference between opinions, yeah? So let's keep that straight and let's keep that honest while we're doing it. Any other? I'm sure I've missed somebody's grade. I'm sure. Yes, Adrian. Adrian's gone for Leno 7, Luis 6, Gabriel 8, and Tierney 6. And I think that's it. That's it for that round. Okay, so let's move on towards the midfield. So let's go Saka, Xhaka, Laka, Baka, Taka, and Ceballos and Bellerin. Neomis, you got the conch.
Okay, so for me, I gave Saka a 7. For me, he was my man of the match. I thought, again, he had a really good game today. Definitely the best of a bad bunch. I think I probably would have given him, just based on the overall performance of a team, the same as I gave Leno and David Luiz and Gabriel. But you just have to remember the fact that this is a guy who's 19. You could just tell that Arteta is slowly trying to bed him in, not giving him too much games, not trying to burn him out. But I do think he's ready to start. Like, I don't think we should be trying to hold him back anymore. I think it's time to let him play in the first team week in, week out, as long as he's healthy. So for me, I think it's another good, solid performance from Saka. Could have been better with maybe a goal or assist, but I thought he played very well. Xhaka, I gave him a 5. I thought he worked hard throughout the game, and I probably would have given him a bit more. But when I generally do these ratings, I do look at stats afterwards to see how they did play. So that's why I've kind of marked Xhaka down, just based on the fact that he lost possession quite a lot. And the only thing that he really did was, even though he passed the ball well, again, he did the sideways backwards passing, but he did, try to pass a little bit forward a lot more. Apart from that, the defensive side wasn't really there much in terms of helping to support Ceballos, who that I could see that look on Bertram's face, but there
No,
is.
you know why? Because when we're watching the games, we have Vincey who gives us the ongoing stats as the game goes on. So, and that's the
Oh,
reason why. Yeah, so I could rip Willian, but Willian I think was our highest percentage passer yesterday. But for me, it's still an average game because he didn't light it. He didn't light it up. So yeah, we have to take that in consideration. But I agree with you. I mean, sometimes when you look at a player play and the stats show one thing and what you see on the pitch
yeah.
shows another, and you have to use the combination of both.
Yeah, so for me, that's kind of what I did with Granite. So for me, I gave him a 5. Ceballos, I also gave a 5 as well. I thought he had it wasn't a Ceballos type of game, to be honest. Normally, I would have given him a 7 because he done something special. I mean, he worked hard, but he just had no impact on the game,
Yeah, yeah.
on an attacking and creative side, and that's why I could only give him a 5. Like, yeah, he worked hard and he run around, and like Xhaka, his passing was pretty good, and he did do a lot of the defensive work, but just no real impact into what his role within that midfield was. So for me, I have to give him a 5, especially factoring in stats as well. And Bellerin, I gave a 4.5. I thought he was quite poor overall. I think caught out a lot of times, just not being in the right positions for certain plays. Just not there. I don't know what's up with Bellerin. Like, I like Bellerin and I want to see him succeed at Arsenal, but I think you guys might be right. I think maybe it's time for Maitland-Niles to assume that role once again.
Yeah, and it's a shame if he doesn't want to play it right back. But if you're going to be in the first 11 and you're going to play, you can't really have a say. Me and Tony have talked about him playing right back, Saka playing left back. If you're that young and you want to break into the team and you're an English player, tap your eyes and shut up. Play where they tell you to play. Don't it don't matter where. Just play where you're being told to play.
I think that's the part that he has to get used to that. I think with his talent, he has almost everything, and he's so versatile. Like, I mean, we've seen him play right back, left back. We know in his when he was younger, he played further forward as a winger. I think he could play in central midfield, whether it's just a central midfield player or even as a DM. So I mean, there's lots of upsides. And maybe he's one of those players that doesn't have a defined position, and he is just a jack of all trades that's good at all of them. Maybe that's his role, but yeah, I think we do need to see him more in the first team. I don't care what position that he's in. Fact of the matter, if he plays, he's going to contribute something positive to this team in the starting 11. So I do want to see him more.
You guys are cracking me up. By the way, Kez did send figures for the back line. He went Leno 6.5, Kieran Tierney 4, Gabriel 7.5, Louise 6.5. So thanks for that, Kez. Tony is saying, can't keep dissing players. It was only 1 goal conceded to a strong City team. It wasn't a strong City team. That's what I'm saying. I think my point with that, Tony, was other teams have just taken them to the sword. Leeds played them off the park the week before. Leeds are a promoted team. I guess where I'm coming from, Tony, is twofold. The first, I made the point on the back end of last year when we proved that we could annihilate these teams. We can attack these teams. We can bully these teams. And we did. So this isn't anything that's hypothetical. It isn't anything like that. We know the truth. It's been done, and it was done over a period of time. So it wasn't, we beat Liverpool 2-1. That was lucky. No, we actually beat Wolves. We beat, City. We beat Chelsea. We beat a lot of good teams. So because what we're seeing now, my disappointment stems from that. And my second point on that, Tony, is look at the Liverpool-Everton game. That proves everything that I'm trying to say to you guys when I talk about how disappointed I am with the result. Last year, we showed we were a team that can go toe-to-toe with the big boys. We go to Anfield and lose. We go to the Etihad and lose. So look at what Everton are doing. That's what I expect us to be doing. Everton went toe-to-toe with Liverpool and gave as good as they got. Yesterday, Arsenal were pathetic. I just have to say it. Everything about them was pathetic. The last 15, 20 minutes in the first half was brilliant. And that's when we could have scored those 2 goals. But the reason why I use the word pathetic is because you're supposed to go into halftime, make adjustments as a manager and come out and make the changes you feel that is going to make you win the game. They did nothing. Nothing. I was sitting down here with these guys in the watch along and I was flabbergasted. I could not believe. I was so disappointed. I was like, what is going on? City were there for the taking. They had players that weren't even 100% fit. They were missing their most creative play. They were saying, Arsenal, come at us. They were in second gear. They weren't even turning it on. This was nowhere near the City of old. This was a City team that was there for the taking and that has been outplayed by promotional teams. And then we turned up in the second half and did what? Absolutely nothing. That is what's upset me. And if they don't find a response in the Leicester game and a Man City game, then guess what? We're in trouble. And it's nothing sort of out of the ordinary for us. We knew from day one this was a work in progress. The difference is you showed us your hand, Arteta. You showed us how good this team can be. And when we ain't seen that, and we got to be honest and we've got to be fair. 18 has saying Saka 9. That's definitely got to be your man in the match. See if I can find right. So he's saying Saka 9, Ceballos 2. Xhaka 5, Bellerin 3. Squicket ball. Saka 6.5, Xhaka 6, Ceballos 4.5, Bellerin. Bellerin's getting bare frees. Bellerin's eating them frees tonight. Joseph, Saka 7, Xhaka 4, Ceballos 3, Bellerin 3. Yeah, you see what I mean about Ceballos now. I asked Bertram and Neomis, you was in the stream yesterday. I asked you guys if Ceballos had even touched the ball in the second half. That's how bad. 85 minutes, we were sitting there and I said to you guys, has he actually touched the ball? I couldn't remember, man. Kez, Saka 8, Xhaka 7, Ceballos 5.5, Bellerin 4. Not seen any numbers from you, Nitish. Nitish is still trying to figure out. Nitish is saying, why can't Arteta figure out these simple things? Yeah, I think from his side, it's probably not simple. He's trying to see where he can integrate players like El Nene, players like Maitland-Niles and Thomas Partey, big ballers who gets it done for him. It's a shame because we didn't see any of them on the field yesterday, bar Partey in the last 10 minutes. D saying, Apollo, bro, I thought it was 4-3-3. Yeah, it switched half the way through. They kind of started out like that and it switched in the first 5 or 10 minutes. Bellerin 3, he's gone with Ceballos 6, Xhaka 6, and Saka 7. There's some big score for Ceballos there. Sento's gone for Saka 8, Xhaka 5, Ceballos 4, Bellerin 4. Adrian, Saka 8, Xhaka 6, Ceballos 6, Bellerin 5. And any more scores? Bertram, you go while I shuffle through these scores.
So I gave Saka a 7.5. I thought he played well. I thought he was the most dangerous player on our team going forward. I didn't think he provided support to Tierney that Tierney needed. That's one of the reasons why Tierney got roasted. He didn't have the help that he should be getting from Saka. Not about that matter. So if you want to take either of those tools to be helping your defender on the left, he wasn't getting that help. That exposed him more and more. But I thought Saka played well. He was the only creative of the front 3, 4, even when Laka came on. And the first chance he got, he created him by himself. He cut inside on the player, then went to the left and shot goals. So I thought he played well. This is a 7.5. I gave Ceballos a 4.5. I thought it was one of his worst games. Remind me of the game he played against Liverpool when he first joined us. He played his first game, and everyone was saying sign him right away, and then he stunk up the joint against Liverpool. I thought yesterday he struggled. And part of the struggle we have was we weren't having the ball, and he's a player who likes to have the ball. That's when he showed what he has. And if you're not getting the ball, then you can't show what you have, right? He's running around trying to make tackles and trying to play defensive, so it didn't show him up too well. I gave Xhaka a 7. I don't understand how Xhaka gets a 3 and a 4. So you guys got to. Xhaka made 38 passes and he completed 37 of them. I'll repeat. He completed 97% of his passes yesterday. Not only that, because I'm not the big fan of just when I say all your stats are good in passing, I'm like, well, how many dangerous passes did you make? He made 2 excellent passes, deep. One from about 30 yards and one from about 15, deep into the opponent's half. They gave Saka a chance, and I think it was Aubameyang. 2 very dangerous, great passes.
The defense.
So split the defense. So 2 splitting passes and 37 of 38. How can you get a 4? So tell me what he did so wrong, why he gets a 4 or a 5 or a 3 if you don't like the guy. I think Xhaka should not be in our midfield, but I judge him based on his performance in a single game, not what he's done historically or what he's going to do prospectively. So I don't get those ratings. I gave Bellerin a 4, and I was being generous. I thought on the first goal, I keep saying this about defenders, you're playing right or left back. You got to force the player to go towards the sideline or go toward the touchline, because what you're trying to do is cut the angle and let Foden come inside. And when they come inside, it's very dangerous. They can play it to their player inside, to the forward inside, a midfielder coming on, or shoot to the goal, which you see a lot of. Abba scored his goals that way, put in the far corner. Son scored a goal today for Tottenham. Because why are you showing them inside? No matter what they do, show them outside, because then the angles get cut. And I thought throughout the game, he's just running around. He wasn't really in the game. Now, I think Arteta has to change his strategy. As Ebony said earlier, we're left side dominant because we play the ball on the left side most of the time. David Luiz passes go from right to left, even when he plays on the right. Gabriel is passing to the left. Tierney has the ball on the left. We really get the ball to Bellerin, to Bias, to Pepe. So we don't balance out how we're playing. We're very left side dominant because we're trying to find Abba all the time. Now, when he gets the ball, we know what he does with it. Not much, unless he's scoring. So, in essence, you have to balance out the field, because players, it's like a basketball game. If I don't touch the ball, why am I playing? I don't defend. I want to have the ball, because you know what Man City does? They rest on offense. They don't rest on defense. They rest when they have the ball. Because all you're doing is position yourself to receive the ball. When you're playing defense, it's very hard, because you got to go chase a player. When you're in offense and you're dominating the ball, you're resting when you have the ball. Because they're not playing the ball over the top and running it down. They're playing short passes. I get in the position, I get it. I take my time. I play it between ourselves. They're resting. So we need to learn that we got to dominate the ball like we used to do in its old days. So you can actually rest on offense versus trying to you can't rest on defense. The Premier League doesn't allow that. So hopefully Arteta will play his best team. Look, I think he's trying to find his best team. As Ebony says, I don't think he knows his best team.
Yeah, and that's going to take a while. It is, and he's not finished yet. So that's definitely something which I think is a consensus around here. Kez has gone Willian. Oh, Willian. Oh, why is it?
He's going up front.
I looked at it, I was like, huh?
Can't wait to get to the strikers.
said, and he's ripping them too. So you listen, proper things. Sentiment's gone Saka at 5.5. Xhaka 3. Wow.
He had some white rum.
Man said Beyblade, Beyblade 3, and Fashionista 2. I love that. I love it. David, I gotta bring up David. I thought that was funny. I gotta bring up David's comment, and if I can find it again. David, don't run from me. David, you haven't even put your ratings. You see how sneaky you are. You throw your comments in there, but man don't want to put any ratings in the chat room. Right, so here we go. It says, stop comparing us to Everton. I'm sorry, bro. Everton is the only team that we can be compared to for various reasons. Number one, they finished around the same spot as Arsenal did last season. Number two, their manager started exactly the same week as Arteta did. Number three, comparatively has spent the same amount of money as Arsenal this summer. 70 million, Arsenal spent 81 million. So this is a direct comparison to Arsenal's progress. So we have to talk about Everton because they are making strides that we are not. Granted, we won the FA Cup. I'll take that. If you're going to bring it up, I've already done it for you. So I'll take that. But look where they are in the league. That's all I'm saying.
I'll just say one thing. They bought shrewdly. They bought a destroyer in Allen. They bought a creator in Ahmed Rodriguez. And they bought the Corey who runs our game, right? They bought a midfield. And even yesterday, they should take Gomez off because Gomez was killing them. And Ancelotti was late to see that. When he put on Sigurdsson, the game changed in the second half. So they bought smartly. All our purchases weren't the smartest purchases. We did some good buys, actually. Gabriel has been a standout, but not all the buys were awesome.
Mr. Bungle saying, Apollo, you hit the nail on the head. I normally do, mate. I normally do. David, Saka 7, Xhaka 6. Xhaka's your boy, remember. Don't let me down. Don't be giving your boy a 6 when he played a decent game. Not too many weeks that I can give him a good mark, man. So when I can, I make the most use of it. Ceballos 4, Bellerin 4. Do we have any of our other? Yes, we have Nana. Nana's gone for Saka 8, Xhaka 6, Ceballos 7. Mr. Green Forest.
Let's stop it.
I'm dead. I am so dead. 3. Oh, that's hilarious. Tony's gone for Saka 7, Xhaka 5, Ceballos 5, Bellerin 5. Average scores there for the midfield. Ronald hasn't put a score down. He's put a formation. And Tashin has given Bernd Leno an 8. So you're probably saying he was your man of the match. Have I given you my scores yet, Ebony? Do you want me to go before you?
You can go before me.
Okay, so I've gone. Oh God, I forgot. I've got to do the multiple scores here. So I've given Bellerin a 3. Vincey gave Bellerin a 6. The African Guna gave him a 4. And for me, where was he for most of the game? And he'll be upset with his defending leading up to City's goal because he just can't let Foden get on the inside of him. And Bertram just said something which I talked about a hell of a lot at the back end of last season. Our attack goes through the left. Why? Because this guy is just not getting up in support. Dear, oh dear. I want to love this guy so much. I want to love Bellerin. I can see Neomis looking at me because he feels the same way. I want to love this guy, but he's just not giving me a reason to throw any support on his side. And at some point, you're going to have to look at the guys who you're carrying. I talk about Xhaka, don't I, every week? Xhaka turned up. We didn't carry him this week. Hooray. He'll live to fight another day because that midfield is going to be very competitive in terms of who you choose. But Bellerin, bro, you're losing it. Ceballos, I gave a 4. Vince C gave him a 6. La African Guna gave him a 5. For me, he failed to influence the game. I use that term quite a lot over the next few grades. And he went missing for long periods. Some of you guys are giving Ceballos a 7. That wasn't me. Sorry, I didn't see it. Xhaka, I've given a 6.5. Vincey's given him a 7. And La African Guna's given him a 6. And you know La African Guna don't do no Xhaka. And for him to give him a 6, he must know something Maguan right there. For me, he worked hard. He played them 2 killer balls through the flanks. And he didn't give the ball away. And everything that Bertram had talked about, I completely agree with. Yeah, and look, I did talk about deluded Gunner. When I saw his ratings, I nearly fell off my chair. I was like, what game? And I respect that guy. Very analytical, really good Arsenal correspondent, great YouTube channel, and amazing when it comes to Arsenal Youth Academy. But I don't agree with his ratings. And it looks like he's looking at what the players have done beforehand rather than what they did in the game, because I heard him talk a bit about the guy did this in the first week, so I'm going to give him a 5. And I was just like, but the first week's gone. This is week 5. So I'm a little perplexed by it. And that's why I kind of always have comments next to my rating so I can actually explain why I'm giving a player a rating. So yeah, I think Xhaka did really well. Saka, I gave an 8. Vincey gave him an 8. La African Guna gave him an 8.5. He played with no fear. And this is why I wanted Nketiah in there as well. These guys don't care about the occasion. They don't care whether they're playing at the Etihad. They don't care whether they're playing at Anfield. They just want to play. And the passion, the fearlessness that they show. We saw that from Saka yesterday. Imagine that. Guy just turned 19 years old, and he's the leader in a team against the richest club in the world. I think that's embarrassing, and it's a problem that Arteta needs to sort out. He was solid on the ball. Superb. He was clever with his movement and passing. Could have scored had it not been for that great save from Edison. But his confidence, look, play him at the 10, play him at the 8, play him through the middle. Anywhere in the middle, that's where you've got to put Saka. That's it. Bellerin, Ceballos, Xhaka, and Saka. So that's me. I'm done. Ebony.
Okay. Saka, he plays with no fear. And this is why he needs to start. Yesterday, he was the best midfielder. Don't care what anyone says. I give him a 9 because I like the way he just goes and just plays with absolutely no fear. He was for me, he was the only person that was making any form of creativity. Xhaka, not my favorite player, as you know. But however, I will judge him on this game. Yesterday, he made some killer passes too. He didn't give the ball away for once. So for that, I'll give him a 6. Ceballos, I don't know where his backside was at yesterday. He just was non-existent for me. No, so therefore no creativity there whatsoever. So I'm going to give him a 2. Sorry, hun, but and Bellerin again non-existent for me. And this is why now it's time for Ainsley Maitland-Niles to actually take over Bellerin. I don't want to say it. I love Bellerin, but part of me thinks that he's still playing like he's got an injury, and then other parts I just think, well, yesterday, you let Foden in on a goal. You shouldn't be. He and for the fact that he's quite a speedy player as well. I don't know where his head was. I don't know if it was in fashion or in the team that he's sponsoring. I don't know. He just wasn't. He just didn't do anything for me, and so it's going to be a 2 as well.
Okay, excellent. And the sentiment saying, Apollo, I support Bellerin. I bought a Green Forest kit, but I'd been him. Andrew was saying, Bertram is accurate with his assessment of Arsenal currently. The back end of last season is probably a false representation. We need to forget the past glories and allow rebuilding to occur. I think that's where me and Bertram disagree, because I don't agree with that. And my reasons I stated clearly, because it wasn't a flash in the pan. It was something that was sustainable over a period of time. It was a level of competitiveness, hunger, and work rate, which needs to happen in order to compete at this level. And you don't show us what you can do, and then all of a sudden come into a new season and don't show us. That's what's disappointing me the most. And I think out of that, I'm perplexed. I'm confused at why we're not seeing that at the moment. And this is something that I need to get my head around. And I'll probably talk to a few of the writers, few agents, to just get their opinion on what's actually going on behind closed doors. Because what is happening? Look, the ability, the process of a manager is to get a team to punch above their weight. That's what you're there for. Wenger couldn't do it. Ljungberg couldn't do it. Unai Emery couldn't do it. Arteta came in on the back end of last year and got this team to overperform. Yeah, he's not doing that at the moment. So therefore, we have to be concerned. And that's where I am at the moment.
I'll just say one thing. I think Arteta had 9 points in his first 8 games. Was that the record? So was in the back end of the season, yes. But think about the entirety of his record initially when he first came on board. Yes, he changed the formation. Yes, he repositioned people. But I'm not sure when you look at the team and the capability of the players, you can say how great we are or what our potential is. Because as I said before, I don't see sometimes what you see. So we have a different perspective on what the players' capabilities are that then translate to performance on the field. If all these managers couldn't do it,
yeah, and that's the thing. And remember, I talk about how subjective our views are, but I love the fact that we can bounce off each other that way, Bertrand, because we're looking at 2 different entities of it, which come together and creates a whole picture of what the current stage of Arsenal's like. And it's the same with Ebony and Neomis as well, African Guna. It's the same with Tony, Vinci when he comes on, Nabil. It's been great to have Nabil on here for the watch-alongs. because he also has a different perspective. It's all about unlocking the key to get this team to perform, and there's a lot of things. Imagine if you're the manager, if you're Arteta, you've got to solve these problems. That's where you get paid the big bucks. Guys, let's hear your views. Before I want to say that, I want to say a big shout out to Terry. What's going on, Terry? What's going on, bro? He's my work partner. Nice to see you on there, my friend. Nice to see you on there. And he's saying Martinez is another clean sheet. God. Me crying, me bawling. Somebody actually mentioned in the chat, and I'm not going to go all the way up to find out who it was. Somebody said that, oh God, what did he say? I think somebody said that Arteta is going to be like Frank Lampard, where he's gone, when he'll get to the end of the season, realize he made a big mistake with his goalkeeper, and then has to go out on the market to go and get one. I don't know who
That's
mentioned
exactly
that.
what will happen. That's exactly what will happen. Trust me.
Somebody
Because
said
you
that.
get rid of a decent goalkeeper.
No, I disagree.
You get rid of a decent goalkeeper. This is the consequence.
Yeah, I think. Look, it was a lot more than that. You're paying Leno 100 grand a week. You only offered Martinez 50 because you had to pay your captain Aubameyang. There's a lot of intangibles about it, guys.
Yeah,
we can't really. We have got.
Leno is a top 10 goalkeeper. I'm sorry, Leno cannot be compared to Chelsea goalkeeper who cost 70-something mil. Leno cost what, about 20 mil? Come on, there's no comparison. And Chelsea goalkeeper can't save his mom if she's that. He can't save anything.
But there's a reason why Leno was so cheap, because he was making mistakes in Germany.
Exactly. Guys, that is the current state of goalkeepers in the Premiership right now. The level of goalkeepers here is laughable. When we look at some of these guys, 60 million, 70 million, and they're getting booted out the next year because they're not good enough. And David De Gea, the standard of the Premiership. And look at him. Look at the player.
Leno makes as many great saves as mistakes he makes. He makes great saves because he needs to for Arsenal almost every single game. He makes not good saves, great saves.
He has made some good saves, but at the end of the day, there's still aspects to his game that he needs to fix up, and one of them is delivery. The other aspect of his game is he dawdles on the ball too much at his feet. He's been here for he's been with Arsenal for just over 2 seasons now, and I don't see any improvement on those aspects.
So Abba scores 22 goals, does nothing else, and he's lauded, and he's the greatest thing, and we give him 350.
No, but
Leno will save 10 shots and give up 1 goal. Abba will miss. In fact, Abba don't even turn up for most of the damn game. Abba will miss. We miss a goal and we don't cuss Abba. We're not cussing Abba. Why are we cussing Leno?
Listen, we're not cussing Abba. Wait till you see the grades. I'm critical of Aubameyang.
Wait until you see the grades. Before we go into that, wait till you see about we're not cussing Abba. Midnight is still young, my friend. Midnight.
Yes, trust me, Bertram. I'm waiting.
Let me see. Andrew saying Apollo confidence is fragile. Top teams do not allow defeats to become ingrained attitude in terms of work rate and off the ball. Once you believe competitive with your opponent, it's the foundation. Yeah, and this is why I'm saying it's disappointing to see where we are right now. Why I said to David, we should be measuring ourselves against Everton, because we have the same journey as Everton has to where they are right now, and we have to be looking at ourselves and asking why. We don't have to be in first place, and we're in 5th, so it's not a disaster. We could be Man United, but what I'm saying is, we're not seeing what we're looking at from Everton. Everton, for me, is where Arsenal should be, because we've both had that same journey. Guys, we're looking at the front 3 now. Send your figures in before I hand over to Neomis, and I'm going to hand over to Neomis. Neomis.
So this is pretty much easy for me.
Easy.
3, 3, and 3. Honestly, like I think all of them have been poor. Willian, again, just non-existent. Like I don't know what's happened to the guy. I remember like watching the Fulham game, thinking, you know what, I predicted for this guy to get, if he could get like 10 goals and maybe 5 assists, or 10 assists and 5 goals, I'd be happy with that. But he looks like he's not even going to get that. I mean, like he has not played well since the first game of the season, and it's another game where I'm wondering, why isn't Arteta dropping this guy? Where is the accountability? How, like, why not play someone like a Reece Nelson? Give him a chance. I heard Reece Nelson was playing for, was it the under 23s against Man United under 23s? Like, what is going on? Like, if Willian can play this bad for 4 games, so Willian is undroppable now? Is there something in his contract that says that? Nevertheless, for me, he gets a 3. He's poor. Aubameyang, I've defended Aubameyang for so long. The man below me.
Bertram's got a way of getting into your essence.
I know, it's so bad.
Bertram's got a way of climbing into your essence.
Open the eyes. Open the eyes. Believe what you see. That's the thing. Believe what you see.
Oh, God.
I mean, I've defended him. I don't get me wrong. I love the goals. I love the flips.
Where's the goals? Where's the goals?
But there are no goals. He's going on now. He's only scored once this season.
Since he signed the contract.
So it's. I think the next game he's due to start, due to score a goal, because he hasn't gone more than 4 games without scoring a goal, I think, ever in his career. So the next game he should score a goal. But his performance overall has been poor. His overall gameplay for the team, working hard on and off the ball, just hasn't been there. His passing, I mean, that's the one thing I debate with Bertram on, and I've lost that debate, and it continuously he doesn't prove Bertram wrong, and it's just continually be poor, and it's just not good enough, especially when you're our captain, especially when you're one of the highest paid players at the club right now. It's unacceptable, Aubameyang. Like, you have to improve. I hope that he improves. Like, we need him to improve. But for me, it's a poor performance. And Pepe, where do I get started on Pepe?
He wasn't terrible.
No,
he wasn't good either.
Yeah, it's one of those whereby he similar to Willian in that he just wasn't impactful in the game. Couple games ago we saw him play out on the left, and I thought he might get more chances there on the left, because when he played there afterwards, our last game, he comes up on the pitch as a substitute, gets the ball and shoots straight away, and I'm thinking, you know what, now he has the confidence, but the confidence didn't look there. Whatever direction that Arteta gave them, and I hope Arteta gave them direction, because the front 3 looked like they were completely lost. Just no energy, no pressing, no nothing. And for me, I mean, like, I have to treat all of them in unison. It's a poor performance by all of them. If I could drop all 3 of them, I would.
Oh my God! When you started your statement, I was going to ask you how different the team would be when you mentioned Nelson. I said, how different would the performance have been with Nelson, Nketiah, and Saka on the left? With that front 3 just being those young players.
I think you would have gotten a better work rate, even if they didn't get the goals. I would have accepted it. I would have given them at least 4s or 5 to say, you know what? Oh, they tried, they worked hard, but it just wasn't their day. It's just down to quality. But yesterday just showed a lack of energy, a lack of work ethic, and that's the part that we thought we had that under Arteta. And I don't know if somehow they're stopping believing in Arteta, but something has to change immediately. And
I think there's stuff going on, Neomis. I think Arteta has been complaining Aubameyang's been complaining to Arteta about playing at the anchor point, the 9 position. That's happening now. Lacazette's now complaining because he ain't starting.
Laca's got to go. It's not going to work out for him.
Willian is just the thing about Pepe that I wanted to say to you is he wasn't impactful yesterday. I think he had 1 free kick when Willian got taken off and substituted, and he didn't hit the target. But before that, I'm sitting down here thinking, but if Willian's not on the field, Pepe is your corner taker. He's your free kick taker. He's doing all those things. And Willian didn't look good taking corners yesterday. He didn't look good taking free kicks. And that's Pepe's job. That's where Pepe can make an impact. I don't think Pepe for me is our best set piece dictator on the team. He knows how to place a ball into a certain area, and he's really good at it. And he's not being allowed to have the ability to do that.
You're probably right, but something has to change. With all three of them. I mean, Pepe in a bigger grand scheme of things, Pepe overall with how he performed last season for me, I thought was okay, but needs to be improved. This season, I said it in our season preview, like he needs to step forward now, and we need to see a big change from him this season. We need more goals and more assists because so far it just hasn't been good enough.
Yeah, I agree, but we have to remain positive for one reason. I will do. Yeah, my only statement for that is the positive sign is that he wasn't starting in the season, and he's worked his way into a starting position, and that's a positive. It's what he does with it when he's in there. That's the next step. So we have to hope that he'll get into the first 11 against Leicester, and hope that he is productive in that game. Otherwise, he's actually going to be, one step forward, 2 steps back if he finds himself on the bench, and that can't be good for the player. Young Devil says, yo! Apollo is saying, yo, what's up, dude? Cricket Ball is giving Willian a 3, Aubameyang a 3, and Pepe a 6. I didn't think Pepe was too bad yesterday. I just don't think he was able to influence the game in a certain way, but he definitely didn't stink up the joint. Let's have a look. Hey guys, did you give your front three? It doesn't look like many of you have sent your front three results here for the. Yes, you did. All right, maybe it was me that zoomed past them. Yes, you did. All right, so that's my fault. Okay, 18 has gone. Willian, Jesus Christ. 18's gone. Willian 2, Aubameyang 2, Pepe, jeez. Wow. Young Devil's gone. Willian 3, Aubameyang 3, Pepe 5. Tony, give me some semblance of... No, there's no semblance there. Tony's gone 3, 3, 3 across the board. We're dying here, guys. We're dying. We're dying, guys. Willian gets a 5. Aubameyang 3. Should have demanded the middle position. Yeah. I don't know. Look, he's there. He's in the middle now. Second game in a row. Let's see what he can do. Pepe 2. Damn. Kuke, Willian 3, Aubameyang 2. Pepe 5. Jeez. Guys, are we dying here or what? D, come bring me something. Look at everybody's face in the panel. Look at the Miss and Bertram and everybody. This is brilliant. I should take a screenshot. D is saying Pepe 3 has 0 dog in him. I think he's a dog. I think he is. He's a little shy though. I must. There's nothing different from what we haven't seen from Walcott. The difference is Walcott did his talking when he got on the pitch. And for me, Pepe just has to get it done. Willian 4.5, playing in the wrong position. Yeah, Aubameyang 2, awful. Play him up top, especially away from home, or bench.
As I've been saying all the time.
Oh God, guys, we're dying. Kez, give me some action here, Kez. Pump up the volume, man, and let's see a figure over 5. No, Willian 3, Aubameyang 2, Pepe 3. Kez is saying, I dropped them all by 1. Aubameyang, our captain, hides in these games. Funny you mentioned that. Do you remember when I challenged him against the big teams and he went out and he got it done against Man City and he got it done against, and he took us on the charge to the FA Cup final? Anfield, nothing. Etihad, nothing. Nana's gone. Willian 2, Aubameyang 2.5, Pepe 4. Aubameyang could not dribble. Willian has no energy. Pepe not good enough. Mirrors. Bertrand, I'm going to hand this over to you before I turn into a skeleton.
So I'm not gonna be that terrible. I'm not gonna be bad. I'm gonna be good. Pepe
You just told everybody to call out Aubameyang.
Oh,
I couldn't wait to grade the front three. This is my favorite part of the discussion. So I gave Pepe a 4. I don't think Pepe is demonstrating that he's worth 70 million. In fact, not demonstrating he's worth 20 million because Ahmed Rodriguez costs 20-something million. Ahmed Rodriguez play on the right just like Pepe does, and he influences every game he's played in, including the Liverpool game yesterday.
Killing it.
So if I do that comparison, though Ahmed is a midfielder playing on the right, I would say that Pepe has struggled since he joined us. My hope is he has skills, but skills alone doesn't do it. It's how you position, is when the dribble, when to pass, is what runs to make. He's not the holistic play I'm looking for that I saw in the French league is not materializing, and that's concerning. So I gave him a 4. I gave William a 3. I supported Williams being acquired by us. I thought it was good for Chelsea. I watch him year after year doing really well. But since the Fulham game, he's been awful. And Naomi's raised a good question, which is, when do you drop a player? I don't know when is the optimum time, but I think William is fighting hard to be dropped and may eventually get there because you can't tell a Reece Nelson. You can't tell players who are, chomping at the bits to play. And I've played in the League Cup and I've played really well and say, you know what, I'm going to play William because he has a reputation, but he's not producing. That doesn't work. And then I gave Aubameyang a 10, then I lost the 0. I have no idea what happened to it. It just disappeared. So I had 1-0 for Aubameyang. The 0 dropped off. And all I had left was a 1 because he was on field. So here's the funny part of this. So if you give Leno a 4, because it was a shot he saved, by the way, guys, and he parred it, but we didn't kick it out, get rid of the ball. And he also saved the one-on-one with Foden.
Yeah, came off his line.
Abba's only contribution was he missed a sitter. That was the only contribution throughout the whole game. He missed a sitter. So he actually should have gotten a negative score, but he was on the field. So that 10 became a 1, and I couldn't give him a higher grade, even though I tried really hard. And the money shouldn't come into it, but when we make 350 for Aubameyang, 220 for William, another 160, 170 for Pepe, we're talking about 700-800K for a front line, which is inept, frankly. And Abba doesn't have good game unless he scores. I repeat, this is unbelievable for a player, a supposedly world-class player. Unless he scores, he doesn't have a good game. That's not good.
It's not like that all the time. He did get 6 assists last season, and he had an assist in earlier on in to one of
six in how many games? In how many games?
But I'm just making a point that you're right.
But I'm saying if he doesn't score, we don't talk about Abba.
Yeah, I mean,
if Kane doesn't score, I see Kane going deep today, picking the ball up, making 40-yard pass to Son, or putting a tackle in. I don't see Abba doing that.
Yeah, he had more assists than Harry Kane last season, but Harry Kane was already surpassed.
Harry Kane was injured for most of the season.
Harry Kane surpassed his assist total last season in just one game.
Abba doesn't drive fear in any defender, right? Abba doesn't drive fear in any defender. If you're a defender, you don't want him to score, but he's not driving fear in you. You're not going to say, he's going to go by me. He's going to make a dangerous pass. You're not concerned about it.
I think he does. I think he does. He did it to...
You got to show me the dangerous pass he's made.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're talking about dangerous passes and splitting defenses.
Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah, I agree with you there.
Harry Kane does that. I saw Harry Kane made a 40-yard pass to Son today. One-on-one with the goalkeeper.
I agree with that. I agree. I thought he was talking about him.
And this is for Tony. Hey, Tony, I have a forward in Southampton that plays for Southampton that you call a donkey one time, Tony. I scored it. By the way, Tony, he scored again yesterday.
He was lethal yesterday, man.
He scored yesterday, Tony.
Yeah.
Just reminding you, he had 22 last year. What the number was last year? He still scored. You can't stop scoring. Yeah, and by the way, he also played defense.
Yeah. Walcott set up that third goal as well yesterday to get them a point. Theo did well yesterday. Theo, good game from Theo. Sentiment is given Aubameyang 1. Where was he? Willian, useless. He's not even grading Willian. He's not even grading Willian. Scooby-Doo Pepe's 3, struggling to be the star. Command your wing, because If that's what you need to tell your senior Beyblade, yeah, it's all wrong there. Bellerin is wrong. Willian is wrong. It's all wrong on the right. I would rip it all up. I would rip it to shreds and start again. I would just put, I don't even look. I would just put Reece Nelson in there. I'd get something. I put Maitland-Niles in there. I'd just do something different. It's just not working. You can see it in maybe 2 games, great, but this is the 4th game now that we've just seen it dry like the Gobi Desert. It dry. Yeah, they got to do something, man. Terry's made a good point here, actually. Let me see if I can go back to Terry. Terry's saying Arsenal are still developing. The key word is patience. Look at the team over a 6-game period. The fixture is harsh. And we talked about October, didn't we, guys? We said we'll be scraping the bottom of the barrel for a result this month. Leicester ain't going to be easy. Don't know what Leicester's going to turn up. Don't know whether Vardy's going to be there next week. Man United at Old Trafford. God knows when the last time we won there. Even everybody thought United was going to bust up yesterday and ended up winning 4-1. So, look, man, it is what it is. We could go through the next period where we ain't even won a game. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Adrian's gone Pepe 6, Willian 4, Aubameyang 5. Elliot, nice to see you, Elliot. First time subscriber. I haven't seen you before. Subscribe to the channel, bro. Elliot's gone Aubameyang 3, Willian 2, Pepe 3. Terry has gone Aubameyang 3, Willian 3, Pepe 4. Joseph is just lick shot. Joseph 1 for Willian, 2 for Aubameyang, and 4 for Pepe. Tashin's gone for 1. Aubameyang's getting bare ones now. Is it you that started this off, Bertram? Is this a trend?
No, I just called it like I see it.
Aubameyang 1, Willian. Is that -8?
Oh, -8.
If you give Willian a -8, he's giving Willian a -8. Pepe 2. Jeez, I've never seen that before. I'm not joking here right now. I think that's all there is. Bertram, did you go?
Yes, I did. It's evidence. There.
Okay, let me go before Ebony. Pepe, I've given a 5. Vinci's given a 6.9. Lafkin's given a 5. I said struggle creatively. Failed to influence the game. Same as I said to Ceballos. Failed to direct 2 headers. Pepe had 2 headers and he didn't get any of them on goal and he offered 0 threat. I thought he had an average game. Willian, I gave a 4. Vinci gave a 5. La African Guna gave a 4. Very poor ball retention for a guy that's supposed to be good with the ball at his feet. Never had that killer pass from that pivot spot. 0 authority in the game. We're seeing a pattern here over the last 4 games, guys, and it's not good. Aubameyang, I gave a 3. Vinci gave a 4. La African Guna gave a 3. Lack of service, yes, but at the same time, he had his chance to make a difference. And as I said previously before, it was a point-blank shot straight in the goalie's chest. A quality goal scorer, which he is, should plant that ball to the left or to the right. If he does that, it's a goal. But he offered no assistance from that forward line, no hold-up play, nothing. Yeah. So that's all I can really say about that. Ebony.
Well, you thought Neomis's one was easy. Well, mine's easy. 1, 1, 1.
Oh shit.
Sorry. Willian, I'm sorry. Guys, listen. Willian, no creativity. He's not, like I said earlier, he's not a striker. Why is he playing there? But then again, that's Arteta's fault. But even if you're put in that position, you have to make a difference. And he made absolutely no difference whatsoever. Sorry, he gets a 1. Aubameyang, all right, it's not his fault that he plays out of, which I consider out of position. And he should be more central. However,
he was yesterday.
But even so, it's like the chances that he misses. I mean, the chance he missed yesterday, come on now. My 75-year-old mother would have actually put that in the back of the net. Seriously. Yeah. And as for Pepe, for somebody who's good on the left-hand side, it just... I don't know what happened to him yesterday, but he's usually good on the left-hand side, and he just didn't make any impact whatsoever. None of the front three made an impact, and you have to partly it's partly their fault, but then you have to partly blame Arteta for that as well.
Well, I would definitely agree with that in terms of the midfield choices. They offered no service to the front line. I think the most person I get Maitland-Niles. It's a luxury to put him in. Well, it's not a luxury. It's important to put him in, knowing that he can take a player out of the game. But for me, it's still El Nene. You leave the most consistency that you've had, the most potent player, the player with the poise, the defensive inaptitude to get the job done, and he left him out of the team. And
he really could have actually. What he should have done was when he didn't see that any of these three were making an impact, what he should have done was he should have brought on Laka. Because at least Laka, when he comes off the bench, I mean, he's more of a super sub to me now. So when he comes off the bench, he does make an impact. None of these three made any impact whatsoever.
Yeah. Why is it?
And these three cost how much? What, 80 million, 180 million?
I think he's saying you're rolling like a BMW M6 there. Nubian Queen Kuke's going, Auntie. I think when he heard all them ones, I just said, Auntie. D is saying Danny Ings is hard food.
That's the kind of player that we need. We need hard food like Danny Ings.
We were just talking about that when we was watching the NFL today. Andrew's saying Aubameyang is Shearer. He must score or contribute to. I wouldn't say Shearer was bare penalties, bro. That's that Harry Kane thing right there, man. You take the penalties away, what is this guy actually doing? Yeah, man, that's a tough statement to hear, guys. D saying hard to disagree with the straight ones. Abysmal performance from the front three, as we anticipated, to be honest. The only top six side without any aggression and dribblers up front.
Not even a dribble, not even a pass, not even a press from any of those three.
So, guys, did you think that Arteta got it right? Guys in the chat, let me hear what you guys are saying. Neomis, I'm just telling you now, I gave Arteta a 3. He cocked it up. Yeah. Poor team sheet. Where was El Nene? Why was William starting? Where was Maitland-Niles? No pressing. Front line was static. Formula for success, 2 wins from wins 2 months ago was not on the menu. The preparation was wrong. I get that there was an injury at halftime, and that's all the notes that I wrote down. I'm done. Be honest.
Okay. Mine is similar to yours. I gave him a 4. I think the injury to Rob Holding is probably the only reason that I will kind of give him some type of leeway. And also the fact that I'm not quite sure on why, particularly the front three, are not moving as they should. I will definitely criticize him for the fact that El Nene isn't in the starting 11. I really don't understand it. Like, I know you guys mentioned before that Arteta probably doesn't know like his starting 11. Well, one thing we do know that he knows what his midfield should be, and it should be Ceballos and El Nene in that midfield. If we're going with 3 in the midfield, you put Partey in there with Partey, El Nene, and Ceballos, and you've got work rate, defensive solidity, and you just got to hope that Ceballos could be kind of creative going forward. But that's a whole nother debate. But I really don't know. I criticize him for not dropping Willian because I thought Willian should have been dropped in this game. I think it's time for him to be dropped. And yeah, I just think it's a bad game for Arteta. Probably the worst one that I've seen so far. Yeah. So for me, it's 4.
And the thing is, Lacazette's not happy. There's a lot of stuff going on. Boy, I wish that I'm glad actually that I don't have Arteta's job.
Lacazette isn't going to make it. Like, if Aubameyang goes back up front, which is probably why Arteta was avoiding it, then they're not going to give up on Eddie Nketiah. They're not going to give up on Martinelli. And you've got Tyrese John-Jules right behind them as well, who also plays as a striker. There's too many strikers. Somebody has to be sacrificed. It's not going to be Aubameyang. And unfortunately,
that's a good point.
Lacazette's going to be the scapegoat.
That's a good point. Lacazette is going to play Thursday, though. Kurt is saying, interesting to see who will put out against Rapid on Thursday evening. We're already starting to get some scores coming in. So you've given him a 3, the same as me, Neomis. Cool K's given him a 0. Cricket Ball's given him a 3. David's given him a 4. 18's given him a 1. Any more? No. Bertram, what would you give Arteta?
So it's very hard to be a manager because there are many fans who are managers, more than many. Every fan is a manager and have their own team. I understand all of that, but everything that you said, Apollo, I agree with. Every single thing, which is not the norm, by the way. I agree with everything you said. I'll add a couple more things. One is around, by the way, I'm so glad we have all these El Neni converts. It's amazing, actually.
Oh, God.
You know, Tony beat me up saying, is a donkey this? And I'm saying, no, El Neni, I like him. He does this. And I'm glad to see.
Didn't he compliment him by saying he was a fast donkey or something like that?
No, he was just a donkey initially. They started improving. Every week, the donkey started getting stronger, moving toward that stallion. He's getting up there. He's not a stallion for Tony, but he's getting up there. But no, I do think El Neni's a big miss because what he does actually doesn't make mistakes, right? There's some players who does their job and does it really well. Consistency is what we're looking for, and he provides that.
Yeah,
I think Arteta also has this Wenger disease where his substitutions sometimes are either late or you have to scratch your head. And that shouldn't be the case with him, who has been doing this now for a little while and is really engaged with the Guardiolas of the world and understand their strategy and how they employ players. And in-game management is an imperative when you're dealing with a very competitive league. You have to really manage well in game. I didn't think he analyzed what was transpiring during the game and make the change he needed to make. For example, William should have been pulled earlier. Saka should have been moved forward more timely. He could have made it. Partey should not come into the game with 8 minutes remaining. Don't play him then. You know what? Says, you know what? He's tired. I'm not going to risk him. The game is not worth it. We're going to do it in minutes. It's going to be so great when we need a goal. He's not a goal scorer. So I'm not sure what that change was about. And I think Bellerin struggled. He could have put on Maitland-Niles. There are different times of the game where you're realizing where things are deficient, what needs to be changed, how I need to reassess my team. And I think strategically, he got outmanaged yesterday. Because as people are right, which is, look, City's still a very good team. They have 2 teams. But De Bruyne wasn't there as their most influential player. They weren't making dangerous forays into our area, even though they dominated the ball. And we had a chance to, the defense has been poor all year. We had a couple of good chances, but I didn't think Arteta had his game. I gave him a 4.
Okay. And what about to you, Ebony?
Arteta, he's going to get a -1.
Wow.
Team selection was crap. As far as the substitutions were concerned, too late for me. When you see, I know being a manager is tough, but when you see certain players are not playing well, you make substitutions early. He's not doing that. He's doing the Wenger style, make them late. I mean, what is the point of bringing in Partey with 6 minutes to go? It doesn't make any sense. It makes absolutely no sense. The fact that he, for the past few games, Bellerin hasn't been playing well, so put Ainsley, Maitland-Niles there. Willian, he should have been replaced. He should have had. He could have at least brought Lacquer on early. I don't know. But I mean, we bought Partey. All this talk about, oh well, he didn't train much. He didn't train much during the week. Well, Tierney hasn't been playing very well, and he hasn't been. He's just come off 2 weeks of quarantine, so it doesn't make any sense. We bought Partey for a reason, and if you're gonna buy Partey, you don't want him on the bench. You want to make an impact. You want to beat Man City. You've got to play the man from the get-go.
What I would do, Ebony? I would make a statement as the manager, and I would play the same team yesterday in the Europa on Thursday, just to put a point out there, just to say to them, look, guys, you screwed up. I want to see a performance, and you're going to go out there and you're going to show me a performance. I would look. Some managers would do that. Some managers wouldn't. It will rub them the wrong way, and I don't care because I'm in it to win it, and I've got a point to make, and that's exactly what I would do. Bertrand wouldn't do it. A lot of people
He can't because a couple of reasons. One is it's a long season.
Oh yeah.
The games that come in rapidly, and you talked about dissension in the ranks already.
Yeah.
People like Laka being unhappy, so you got to keep everyone happy.
Yeah.
And what the challenge Arteta is going to face is this: he has a number of players who have reputation. David Luiz, William, Abba, Laka, Pepe. So how do you then play players who are not producing? Well, the reason is going to say, you know what, you're showing favoritism. You're not selecting the team based on how people are playing. You based on reputation. That creates dissension in the team. And if I keep seeing William on the field, if I'm Nelson, I'm going to say, you know what, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I would play Willian on Thursday. I'd play Willian on Thursday. No doubt about it. I would play him just for that reason. Yeah,
I'd play Nelson on Thursday because if I'm Nelson, I want to play football. And I want to show the manager that I deserve to play come Sundays or Saturdays in the Premier League. So I got to give the Willets chance to demonstrate what they can do, even if it's their opponent, and also keep them on board. I want competition in training. I want enthusiasm in training. I want people to feel like I'm not being biased as a manager. So I have to give everybody a chance to play. So I do think if you're trying to prove a point with them, what you're doing is creating another havoc in terms of those players saying, you know what, you're not being a fair manager. You're playing on Sunday, you're playing them on, when do I play?
Yeah. Heads after that performance yesterday, heads would roll. That's all I'm saying.
No, but Arteta was very positive, by the way. He thought we played well. He thought we played well.
David saying, will Partey improve us? Almost definitely, and that's what makes this frustrating. The fact that he kind of dipped his toe into the water instead of, look, if he wasn't ready, then don't play him. Simple as that. Don't put him on at the 82nd minute. I don't know what that was all about. Maybe it's because Arteta is new at this. I don't know, but it's something that I wouldn't have done. And you're saying Gabriel has improved our back line. Yes, and I'm hoping that Partey would have the same effect in our midfield. And,
I'm hoping that, you know, if Partey gets on, when he gets on, Xhaka is dropped.
Yeah, one thing that Kez, I mentioned this before, Kez, when you're saying Arteta is missing the water breaks. That's what disappointed me about the half time. What happened in there? Who was speaking? Where was the leadership? Where was the adjustments? Where were the changes? I don't know. I mean, what did they do at halftime? Go to the toilet and go back out on the pitch? I don't get it. That confused me. And yes, you're right. The water breaks was a way of him to tinker things. But some of the agents were saying to me that because there's no crowds there, it's so easy for them to change everything because all the players can hear them shouting, and it's pretty straightforward. So I don't know where they go. But I think we all want to see a response to this poor performance. I don't care about Thursday, to be honest. I mean, if the Pitney don't play, the Pitney don't play. Leicester is the big prize because Leicester is going to see us stay up in the upper echelon of the division. We're not a mid-table team at the moment. We're in 5th. Things could have gone a lot more wrong. And in being honest, the team are exactly where me and Bertram thought they was going to be at this stage of the season. Remember, we made a video talking about the first 10 games and how much points we can get from there. Me and Bertram said 18 points from 10 games. That means 9 points from 5 games. And that's exactly what we have. So we're not doing anything different to what we thought the team was capable of doing. But I just think that, you know, when your team plays poor, and you know, and a team like Man City, the fact that they have so many injuries, the fact that Sterling, you know, isn't up to scratch, that Aguero isn't up to scratch, they were there for the taking, and Arsenal just didn't capitalize on that. It was just, you know, they just allowed them to just run amok.
So I say this: we've given up 6 goals in 5 games. Only Villa has a better goal against stat, right? So defensively, and we played 2 of the better teams so defensively, we're doing okay. We have only scored 8 goals.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Right? Villa scored 12. Take Liverpool a game. They have much as us with Liverpool game. Everton scored 14, 13 by Liverpool, 15 by Tottenham, 13 by Chelsea, 11 by West Ham. We're not scoring.
Okay, so let's lighten up the mood before we go, guys. So that's it for the show today. Thank you guys for being a part of the stream. Everyone in the chat, love your grades as always. Please hit the like button. Some of you still haven't hit the like button. 40 of you watching and only 23 likes. So some of you lot are sitting there eating your Sunday roast, watching television.
They don't like.
And the PC in the stream is right over there. All you got to do is reach over to the mouse, click that like button. Mr. Bungle is giving us the joke of the day. Guys, what's Snow White's favorite drink? And he said 7-Up. So, yeah. So, guys, look, we're going to be back live stream on Thursday in the Europa Cup. And I hope you guys will join us then. Let's lift up, guys. I think that those two fixtures was very difficult. Both away from home. I mean, it couldn't be any worse. Let's look towards Leicester at home, who's not really had any luck against Arsenal at the Emirates. And with any hope, Vardy won't be there. So let's lift up.
He'll turn up on Thursday or next week.
Probably, but even then, they still can't beat us at the Emirates. We've got a good record there. And I think the big one is Man United. But let's get over Leicester City's hurdle first. So we're going to be live streaming that as always. And let's look up, guys. I think being in 5th place is good. We're above Tottenham, above Chelsea, above Man United, above City, which I didn't think would happen at all. And we have the ability to grow from this and climb up at the table. And most importantly, improve what is going on in the midfield and the attack. If we're struggling in these phases of the game and we're still at a decent league position and gone past the last 2 games, and I think that is cause for some kind of positivity.
Optimism.
Yeah. Totally agree. So that's it, guys. Any last comments from you guys?
Yeah, I want to see us.
Go ahead, Ebony.
All I was going to say was that I don't want us to be too left-sided in our play. I like us to mix it up a bit going forward.
Excellent, Bertram.
Yeah, look, I do think that Arteta has to play the people who are playing well and don't play reputation. And my hope is that Partey exemplifies what it means to be a complete midfielder and help to inspire us, just like Fernandes has done at Man U, and we see Amanda Rodriguez done at Everton. I'm hoping he has the same effect on the team and drive us forward because we need a spark, and hopefully he's that spark.
I hear you, man. Neomis.
For me,
Neomis is vexed, man.
Look, I'm looking forward to Thursday. I want to see the kids get a chance because I know they're going to put a smile on my face. Against Leicester, it's a must-not-lose game. I predicted. I started to look at prediction for the whole season, and games like against Leicester, even though they are tough, those are games that we can't lose. If we don't get a win, let's get a draw. Big up the Arsenal women for their 6-1 thrash.
I thought it was 6-0.
Yeah.
Oh,
brilliant. Yo, I'm about to go and watch that. I'm about to go and watch that right now after the stream. I need to feel good. Yeah, listen. The Skins blew a last-second lead against that guy sitting in the bottom right corner of your screen, Bertram there. The Giants fan smiling, even though he's.
I don't know why we're talking about the Skins. They've won 1 game all season.
Hey, well, so have you now. So have you.
But I'm not talking about my team at all. I try to forget them.
I can't forget them. They just beat us today. Anyway, guys, and you know what? On a Sunday, normally when Arsenal mess up or the Skins lose, I've got Lewis Hamilton to cheer me up. And there was no F1 racing today, so I'm going to have to go to bed as miserable as hell. So I'm going to watch that damn Arsenal ladies game and seeing us thrashing Tottenham 6-1, and I'm going to enjoy every little bit of it. Guys, thanks for joining us this week. Really appreciate the commitment. I know we lost, and it's hard to come back here and talk subjectively about the things when we're not all feeling great at the moment. But let's put it past us. Let's move forward. Let's build up some positivity, and hopefully let's see these guys show us a reaction from these 2 awful games, really. and let's see what happens. Let's hope that this team continues to grow. That's it from me, guys. That's it from the team. See you guys later, man. Peace out. Right back at you. Nice one, guys.
Peace out.
Guys.
Bye.
All right.